Good morning, everyone. Morning, welcome to your Friday morning practice and welcome along at home as well. Nice to see some faces I haven't seen in a little bit. This morning's practice, we're going to get into your hips a little bit. And I think the biggest thing that keeps coming up for me in my practice and teaching is a reminder that this practice is meant to be nourishing and to leave us feeling good and not depleted. So you're the only one that's going to know your current energy levels, how much you've slept, how you feel in your body. So please always listen to that. And we're not perfect. Some days we listen and some days we don't. And that's listening to yourself. So let this be another practice to honor yourself. So your practice is like medicine. But let's begin. I'm going to start laying on your back, and I know most of your faces, but if you're doing the recording and I don't know you, my name is Amelia. Welcome. You're going to grab your bolster and you're going to slide the bolster underneath your legs, and you will need 2 blocks, at home. 2 blocks and a bolster or a pillow or a cushion you will need. And then Shavasana. We're going to start in Shavasana. Friday morning, lay on your back, Shavasana. And there was a class that I taught here this week. Someone decided to take Shavasana the whole class, and that's perfect. So if that's you, and that's really what your body needs, let this be Shavasana. Otherwise, we'll begin here for now and let's see what happens. Either resting your hands on your belly or the arms out beside you, and let's take a big breath in through the nose, fill up. And then slow the exhale down out through the nose for a count of 3, 2, 1. Let the belly and the ribs fill up. Inhale. Exhale out, count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in through the nose and start to feel yourself fill up. Exhale out for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bigger breath in. Exhale out for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Take a few more rounds on your own, just starting to bring your awareness to your breath. That's a way of consciously starting to speak to the nervous system. Maybe to intentionally bring some awareness into your body. Maybe also this moment is that perfect time to check in and notice how you're feeling in this moment. And you might be kind of feeling a little sleepy or feeling like your body is just starting to wake up. But notice anything else, anything that feels like it's trying to speak to you. And then we'll continue to check in throughout the practice. So our practice is like medicine. Take another big breath in through the nose, fill up. Explore a really long breath out. Now try and breathe into the side ribs, side body. And as you exhale, draw the belly in and feel your lower back press towards the ground. Breathe into the side ribs, fill up. And like you're trying to lift from pelvic floor all the way to the belly button. One more expansive breath into the side ribs. Zipping up through the center of the body. And then begin to step your feet onto your bolster. Let your arms go wide, take your feet wide, and let your knees shift side to side. You could keep the eyes closed or eyes open. And let yourself shift in a way, you're inviting in some curiosity. Notice how the body's feeling, the hips are feeling. Maybe observing your energy, current mood. And certainly this time of year might be where there maybe is a little less energy, or the nervous system is a little more sort of amplified. So please slow it down where you need to, rest where you need to, or even add on where you wish. When you're ready, come back through center, set up your feet about hip width, plant the hands down beside you, and start to curl up from your tailbone. Slowly, gently, your tailbone lifts, the lower back, the middle back lifts until you find bridge. Anchor down through the arms. Point your tailbone forward. And then try and breathe into the side ribs here. Fill up. And as you exhale, imagine you're squeezing your legs into a block. The legs start to hug slightly together. Breathe into the side ribs. And as you exhale, the legs hug in a little and then zip all the way up from pelvic floor to the belly. One more breath. Slow breath out. When you're ready, lower the hips all the way down. Curl the knees into the body, grab onto your shins, and then see if you can round yourself into a little ball. Either stay here or reach your arms forward just to start to wake up your core a little. And then lower the feet back down. We'll come into bridge, but float your arms up this time. Reach your arms over your head, hips up towards the sky, tailbone forward. Exhale, float the arms down, lower the hips down. Curl up again, either holding onto your shins or reach your arms forward. Your tailbone peels up. So you're curling into a little ball for the second part. And then lower the feet back down, bridge, inhale. Exhale as you lower down. Curl up, breath in. Exhale as you lower down. Continue with your breath, finding your own pace, a rhythm that feels right for your body for right now. So you could move quicker or slower. And just starting to feel the places that open up. Maybe feel the places that are starting to awaken. And already there might be just a shifting of awareness, of energy, and that might give you a little more feedback throughout the practice, continually just starting to strengthen that awareness to yourself. And then the next time you lift into bridge, we'll lift up into bridge and hold. And if you're wriggling up your mat, you could always wriggle back onto your mat. And then as you find your bridge, leave the hips up, lower the arms back down and interlace your fingers behind your back. Wriggle the shoulder blades back. And as you anchor down through your arms, try and point your tailbone forward. Find the imaginary block, legs squeeze in, lift through pelvic floor to the belly. Can you feel the support as you open up your body? Take one more big breath. Exhale as you release. Slowly lower down and then curl up into a little ball and hold. Either stay there with your arms forward or hold onto your shins, or start to extend your legs towards the sky. Zip up through the belly even more. Either stay there or can you lower your right leg down and maybe it sits just above your bolster but not resting on your bolster. And then your neck might want a little more support. So take your left hand behind your head and then use your hand to lift your head a little, but your head to press slightly back. If you want to make this a little stronger, which you may not, but if you do, reach your right arm over your head. Hold for 3, 2, for 1. Lower your head, curl the legs in, take a breath in. Slow breath out, curl up again, reach your arms forward, tailbone lifts, take a breath. Either stay there or extend your legs. Press the lower back into the ground. And then either stay there or hover your left leg just over your bolster, or if you're home, maybe over your pillow. And then use your right hand to support your head. But as you press up with your hand, let your head press slightly back. Either stay there or float your left arm over your head so your lower back is squishing into the ground. Take another big breath in. Slow breath out. When you're ready, bend both legs, draw the legs in, lower your head, rock side to side across your lower back. And when you're ready, you're gonna roll all the way over. Lift yourself up and just move your bolster out of the way unless you're staying in Shavasana. And you may choose to. No rules. Hands onto the mat. See if you can press yourself away from the ground, zip up through your belly. And then keep this feeling of zipping up really from the pelvic floor to the belly. Slowly lift your right leg towards the sky and then lift your chest up. See if you can find just a gentle back bend. Now keep the gentle back bend, but zip up again so you find even more support. Take a breath. Look over towards your right shoulder. Take your right knee towards your right shoulder. And now curl in and round, draw the knee to the nose. See if you can round through the back. Lift the toes up again, chest up, toes up, inhale. And as you exhale, circle around, look to the right, curl the knee into the right, and then all the way around, like you're trying to create circles. Move with the breath, inhale. Exhale to circle around. Noticing the hips, your body, sometimes different things that show up, maybe that you're familiar with, or might be something different today. 2 more breaths. 1 more big breath in. Slow breath out. Lift the tippy toes to the sky again. Take a breath in. Slide your right knee behind your left, and then pull the feet apart. Start to send your hips about halfway back. Walk your hands over to the left side and come right up onto your fingertips if you can. And if you feel the stretch through the outer right hip or right side body, maybe you stay there. If you don't, keep going, exploring. Maybe that's walking your hands more to the left. Squeeze your legs more, lower your upper body more. Take 2 big breaths into the right side body. Let the head lower, breath out. 1 more big breath in. Slow breath out. Walk the hands back to the front of the mat and then shift forward. Lift your right leg up to the sky like you did before. Take a breath. And as you exhale, step your right foot out to the side of your mat, really off your mat, and kind of like child's pose with your upper body. You'll stretch your arms forward, but at the same time, send your hips back. And you may want to tuck your toes or not. I'll leave that part up to you. But as you send your hips back, reach your arms forward, you might feel the inner seam of the right leg. I know it's weird, yeah. Nothing that we're forcing, just kind of meeting where we find where is that resistance or tension in the body. Take 1 more big breath. Slow breath out. Keep the legs as they are. Shift forward to like an all fours, kind of all fours. Tuck your left toes, and this will be like a weird down dog. As you tuck your left toes, lift up. Send the weight back into your hips, into your heels. And I kind of like to move my right hand a touch further forward, but just see what feels best in your body. Let your head lower. Lean more weight back into the legs, so it might feel a little lighter in your hands. Take a big breath in. Squeeze the legs towards each other as you breathe out. When you're ready, left knee lowers, right knee lowers down, and then press the hands into the ground, zip up through the center of the body. Let's lift your left leg towards the sky. Take a breath in, chest up, belly in, and then look over to your left knee towards your left shoulder. Begin to curl and round, knee to the nose, and then moving with your breath as you lift up, toes up, chest up. Exhale as you circle all the way around. So move at a pace that feels like a gentle awakening through the hips. Sometimes the gentle awakening starts to feel a little warmer after a little bit. And then a few more breaths. And it's not just the hips, adding in that movement through the spine. Nothing feels forced. You're starting to feel it's like the body trying to communicate with each other, different parts of you. 1 more circle. Lift the toes up, take a big breath. Left knee behind the right. Let's separate your feet and then start to send your hips about halfway back. Once you're there, come up onto your fingertips and walk your hands over to the right side. As you prop yourself up onto your fingertips, if you feel the stretch in the outer left hip or left side body, maybe this is where you land, or you could keep experimenting. Hands more to the right, legs squeeze more, hips go back more. 2 big breaths. Feel the left side body open. 1 more big breath in. See if you can zip up through the center of the body. Shift forward, find all fours, but straight away lift your left tippy toes to the sky again. Take a breath. And kind of like you're kicking your left leg out to the side of the room, lower the left foot down, sort of go off your mat. And then like a child's pose with your leg extended out to the side. You can have your right toes tucked or untucked. Go by feel there. Let your head lower and you might feel the inner seam of your left leg. Maybe the breath moves into the back of the body. Hollow out through the front of the body. One more breath. Slow breath out, shift forward, kind of all fours. Keep your left leg where it is. So tuck your right toes. The legs don't move, but as you start to lift your hips up and back, maybe your left hand slides a touch further forward if that makes more sense in your body. And then notice this down dog, quite different. Certainly off center, but maybe you feel the connection to your legs, the inner seam of the left leg. And let it be lighter in your hands as you lean back. Take one more big breath. Slow breath out. When you're ready, lower your right knee, your left knee. And can you just grab your 2 blocks and set them up at the top edge of the mat? They're on the medium setting. And then shift forward again, all fours. Spread the fingers like you're trying to grip into the mat, and then downward facing dog. From your regular down dog, take one breath here, fill up. And find a subtle hug from the legs, zipping all the way up through the pelvis to the belly. And begin to walk all the way forward, top edge of the mat. And as you halfway lift, can you take your feet a little wider than hip width? Just a little bit wider. As you exhale, fold, let your upper body go. 2 more breaths. Halfway lift, your hands could be on your blocks. Exhale as you fold. 1 more, halfway lift, zip up through the center of the body. Exhale as you fold. We'll keep the feet a little wider, bend your legs. Slowly begin to round up. And as you reach the arms up, can you turn your toes out like you would for yogi squat? And if you know you want your feet wider or narrower for yogi squat, just adjust them. And as you stretch just straight up this morning, draw your tailbone down, take a big breath in. We'll move in slow motion to find yogi squat. So just start to send the hips back a little. If yogi squat first thing in the morning is not your favorite place, maybe you stay a little higher. Or you could even let your heels lift. Elbows press on the inner seam of the legs, legs squeeze in, lift your chest up, take a big breath. As you exhale, hands onto your blocks, leave your feet, lift your hips up, and just let your hips sway a little side to side. Take a big breath. Slow breath out. So you'll want your 2 blocks underneath your hands. Now bring your feet to hip width, halfway lift, inhale. Step the right leg back, runner's lunge. Slide the blocks underneath your shoulders and think about squeezing the outer hips in. Keep that feeling and then pull the chest forward, press your heel back. And I want to pause you here for a second. I've heard of too many people with labral tears at the moment, so please do not force your body. I feel like about 3 or 4 in the last week. Take a breath in since I've come here. As you exhale, tuck your chin, begin to curl and round, and then move with your breath. So we want our practice to be medicine, not deplete us, not push us and force us. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. And when I say here, I'm not talking about just in the studio, but just in the yoga community in general. 2 more breaths, fill up, inhale. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. 1 more breath in, pull the heart forward. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. Pull the chest forward again. We're going to leave the blocks where they are. Begin to turn to the back of the room, stay nice and low. And as you turn to the back of the room, plant your left hand down, simple twist. Reach your right arm up to the sky, take a breath. And then see if you can press strongly into your left hand. Take a breath in. Look at your right foot and toe heel the right foot back about 1 footprint. Either stay here or Cleopatra, roll over onto the knife edge blade of both feet and reach forward. Nice. We're going to come all the way back around. Can you spin over to your left? Might circle your hand down and stay nice and low as you make your way to the front edge of the mat. Move the blocks out of the way, step back to downward facing dog, breathe out. Ripple forward, plank posture, inhale. Either knees down or stay lifted. Can you press the ground away? Take a breath. And then use your full exhale to lower all the way down to the ground. The blocks are in the way, which they might be. Just move them out of the way. Fingertips go off the mat and pull the elbows to the back of the room. Pelvis presses down, belly in, and then begin to ripple up, striking cobra. Inhale. Exhale as you melt the body down. And then maybe close down your eyes. Explore 3 more like that. I want you to feel support so there's no pinching or pressure in the lower back. Another place that we can force too much is through our back. So where is the place that still feels good? It feels like there's support as you find space. 1 more, ripple up. Exhale as you lower down, hands beside you, child's pose, press back. Hips to the heels. Ripple forward, all fours. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. 1 big breath, fill up. Slow breath out. Lift up onto your tippy toes, look forward. A walk or a step or even a jump forward, top edge of the mat. Grab your 2 blocks, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, take your feet a little wider and then forward folds. Bend your legs, let's round up, inhale. And as you reach up, can you turn your toes out, stretch straight up. Yogi squat, exhale as you lower your hips down, hands to heart center, elbows, inner seam of the legs. And then find a little squeeze of the legs in, get a little taller, take a breath. Hands onto your blocks, lift your hips up. Feet go straight underneath your hips now, halfway lift, inhale. Step your left leg back, runner's lunge. Slide the blocks back. Legs squeeze in. And then pull the heart forward, inhale, breath. Exhale, keep the front leg bent, but round through the upper back, tuck your chin. And explore 3 more like that. And I don't know about you guys, but I've definitely woken up the next day and gone, oh, that was too much. I've done something where I didn't listen to my body. And that's the learning. That's the part where we go, all right, that's feedback. My body's telling me something. So we can take that into our next practice. 1 more, big breath in. Exhale, tuck your chin, curl and round. Pull the chest forward, breath in. So we're going to turn to the left, to the back of the mat. Stay low if you can. And then simple twist towards the back of the mat, hand down. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Good. Press strongly into your right hand, take a breath. And then look down towards your left foot. Can you toe heel the left foot back 1 footprint and either stay there or Cleopatra as you roll over. Left hand circles all the way back. Stay low, make your way top edge of the mat, hands plant down, downward facing dog. And then from your down dog, ripple forward, plank posture, inhale, breath. Can you lift through your lower belly, lift through the head? If you want knees down, lower them, take a breath. And see if you can find a slow exhale to the ground. Once you're on the ground, so good. No one's slacking off here. Fingertips go off the mat. Pull the elbows back, tailbone down, and then ripple up. You're striking cobra, inhale. So as you warm up, as the body opens up, maybe there's more space, but then there'll need to be more support as well. Press the pelvis down, belly in as you ripple up, inhale. Exhale as you lower down. 2 more. See if you can draw the shoulders down away from the ears so we're not creating more tension. We're trying to shift it and release it. Exhale, lower. Let's do another. Breath in. Ripple up. Exhale as you lower down. Hands beside you. Press back to child's pose, hips to the heels. Ripple forward, all fours. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 1 breath, fill up. Slow breath out, lift up onto your tippy toes, look forward, inhale. Knees bend, step or jump forward, top edge of the mat. Hands to your blocks, feet go a little wider, halfway lift. Exhale as you fold. Hollow out the belly as you round up. Toes go out, ready for our yogi squat. Take a breath. Sit the hips back and down, and maybe it starts to feel a little better.
Pull the chest open, take a breath in. Hands down onto your blocks, breath out. Feet a hip width, halfway lift, inhale. Step the right leg back, runner's lunge, blocks under the shoulders, this time just a little different. Legs squeeze in, pull the heart forward, inhale. And now with a straight leg, start to fold over your left leg. Some of you might draw your toes up, some of you might keep your toes down as you fold. Breath in, rebend, runner's lunge, think heel back, heart forward, and then exhale as you fold. 2 more like that, breathe in. Exhale as you fold. 1 more breath. Exhale as you fold. Rebend into your front leg. If you don't need the hands on the ground, hands go to heart center. Blocks could go a little wider or out of the way. Ninja your way to the back of the room. Turn to the right, simple twist to the back of the room. Left hand plants down, reach up, take a breath. So Cleopatra, you could either roll straight into it or adjust your right foot back as you roll over. Circle all the way back, right hand down. If you don't need your hands on the ground, they're at heart center, or hands could find the mat as you make your way back. Down dog, step back. And straight away, slide off the mat. Straight away, ripple forward, plank posture, inhale. Exhale to the ground, no rush. Fingertips go off the mat. Elbows back. Can you really anchor the pelvis, zip up your belly, and then explore your striking cobra 4 on your own. And as you find more space, can you find more support? Zip up through the belly, that legs are active, the tailbone points down. And it's like we want to feel this like heart shelf as you draw your shoulder blades back and down, almost like you can feel the support through the upper back. And you're keeping space and zipping up through the center of the body to support the lower back. Hands beside the lower ribs, child's pose, press back. Ripple forward, all fours. Downward facing dog, breathe out. 1 breath there, fill up. Slow breath out. Lift up onto your tippy toes, look forward, inhale. Knees bend, step or jump forward, top edge of the mat. Hands to your blocks, halfway lift, feet go a little wider. Exhale as you fold. Bend your legs, round up. We'll set the feet up for yogi squat 1 more time. Toes out, stretch up. And then yogi squat. Maybe it feels even better this time. Broaden your collarbones, lift up. Exhale as you fold, feet to hip width, halfway lift. Left leg steps back. Find your runner's lunge, slide the blocks back and really hug the outer hips in. Then begin to explore the space. Pull the chest forward, heel back, and then fold. So explore this, any variation. You could curl the toes back. 3 more, breath in. Exhale as you fold. 2 more breaths. Exhale, breath. You might even try and slide this foot just a little further forward. Yeah. And then once you finish the last one, begin to pull the chest forward, and then without the hands, if you don't need them, hands through heart center, stay a little lower. So get super low, 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 turn to the back of the mat. Nice right hand down, legs squeeze in, simple twist, left arm up. And then either stay there or your Cleopatra, adjust your back foot or your left foot as you need. I know the blocks there, they're in the way. Circle all the way back. Just add sound effects to the class and stay low, ninja style, down dog, step back. Ripple straight forward, inhale plank. And then find the slow lowering to the ground. And then striking cobra again, anchor the pelvis, zip up your belly. And then notice if your shoulders are near your ears. That's probably not going to be the best for when you leave the class. You want to feel spacious. And so a couple more on your own. You might slide your hands out here and then draw the shoulders down. Yeah, and you want to feel there. Yeah. And then finish one more. And then hands next to your lower ribs, zip up through the belly, child's pose, press back. Ripple forward, all fours. Down dog, breathe out. Now make your down dog a little shorter, legs squeeze. Lift up onto your tippy toes, look forward. Maybe it's one big jump this time or a step forward, top edge of the mat. And this time, can you grab your 2 blocks, place them on the highest setting, halfway lift, inhale. Bring your big toes to touch, exhale as you fold. Bend your legs, begin to round up. And as you round up, start to put more pressure into your right foot. Stag posture, left knee into the chest. And then pause. Can you plug down to stand up as tall as you can? Lift your left knee a little higher, zip up your belly, take a breath. Ankle to the thigh, open eagle, hands to heart center. Now your blocks are there if you want them. Otherwise, they're just ornaments right now. Curl the toes back and poke your butt back more. And notice if you feel like your back is rounding. If it's rounding, can you do the opposite of that? Can you poke your butt back more, scoop the belly in more? Nice, Sophia. Can you curl your toes back a little? Good job. Nothing, you can't hide at home as well. Take one more breath. Slow breath out, left knee into the chest, float the arms up, stag posture, inhale. Take the hands to heart center, and can you move super slowly here? Take your left knee out to the left, almost like you're trying to lift your leg up and over something. And then we're heading to warrior 2, but as slow as you can. Take your time. And if your hips do what mine do, mine click along the way. And then landing, warrior 2, stretch your arms out, and maybe even your legs out a little wider. Bend your right leg. Take a breath. Maybe even bend a little lower if you feel like, yeah, that feels like a good idea this morning. Flip the front palm and then reverse, reach up and back. Look towards your back foot, take a breath. Zip up through the belly, breathe out. All the way back to warrior 2, inhale. And then goddess posture, toes out, heels in. Who doesn't love goddess posture? Reach your arms out. And then a moment to just have a look at your knees. Sometimes the knees collapse inwards and then we end up with pressure in our knees. So press your knees out, arms stretch out, take a breath, and then wrap your right arm underneath the left. Eagle wrap the arms, stretch your fingertips to the sky, take a breath. And then begin to tilt your head and your arms over to the right. Can you create a circle here? And this is also one of those moments to your shoulders, your arms, your back. So make the movements either smaller or bigger. If you feel like your body wants a little more spice, you'll bend the legs more. Stay a little higher. And then one more circle. Come up, you'll come back to center, straighten your legs, release your hands, toes in, and stretch your arms straight up to the sky. As you exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. And can you rest your knuckles on your sacrum for a second? Just encourage your tailbone down. So there's some awareness there. Knuckles point down, and now lift your chest straight up. Either stay there or find a back bend, peel up and back. Breath in, lift up. Exhale it as you fold all the way down. So we're here for 5 breaths. If you want to take any other variations, whether it's with your hands or your arms, or if you wish to invert, go to town. So slow and steady. Do you want a spot? And then a bit bigger. Yeah, press the ground away. One more breath. Oh, it's all right. One more breath. So good. And then halfway lift, release your hands. Exhale. Can you lower your hands, bring your feet to hip width, and then begin to spin on your heels until your toes are facing towards the back of the room. So spin on your heels until your toes are facing back of the room. And then spin to your, I was about to say your door, you could call it your door or the door, and then keep spinning over to the door, slide your right foot a little closer to your left. Keep spinning to the door. Keep spinning, keep spinning. And if you're at home, you're going to face to the side of your mat. That's probably the best way to say it. If you feel like your blocks are in reach and you need to grab your blocks, you're going to step this foot behind your left. So right foot behind the left. And then grab the blocks if you need to, halfway lift, either point towards the side of your mat or keep turning your upper body over towards the front of the mat to catch the edge of the hips. So you might want your feet to point towards the door or the side of the mat, depending on whether you're in the room or at home. Take one more breath. Slow breath out. Begin to spin with your toes to face towards the back of the room. Keep unraveling. You're facing to the side of the room. And then shift to face towards the front of the room. You've got your right foot forward. That went a little pear-shaped today. I'm just going to say until I've got to do better for the next side. All right, you've got two options here. You can either have blocks underneath your hands or fingertips on the ground. Kick your left leg back, take a breath in. So this could either be a standing split or a handstand kick up, you decide. Standing split, dive your head down. Handstand kick up, hands on the ground. And you might keep your right knee close to the chest as you have a go at a kick up. Few breaths. Nice, press the ground away. Squeeze the legs. And then wherever you are, I'm going to land back down to the ground, halfway lift, take a breath. Exhale as you fold. So if the blocks were ornaments before, you could leave them. If they were helpful, the blocks are on the highest setting in front of you. Big toes to touch. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Bend your legs, slowly begin to round up. And then as you round up, just put a little more pressure into your left foot. Stag posture, right knee into the chest. So a moment to pause. As you press down, can you lift up? Zip up through the belly and see if you can keep reaching a little taller. Take a big breath. Ankle to the thigh, start to send your hips back and down. And so you're poking your butt back. And if it feels like any part of the spine is rounding, can you do the opposite? Almost like you want to arch your back and then zip up your belly. So use the blocks as you need to, curl the toes back. And some days is just not a balancing day. I often find if I practice later on in the afternoon, I've had coffee and it's like, oh yeah, can feel all of that now for 3. Maybe you've already got the morning coffee feeling already happening. 2. For 1, we're coming back up, right knee into the chest. Inhale, take a breath. Hands to heart center and begin to circle the right leg to the right. We're going slow. And as you circle the leg back, you might lean your torso forward, maybe even kicking your leg back. And then in some way, we'll find warrior 2. Stretch your arms out. You might even want to lengthen your legs a little. Take a breath in. Can you soften the tops of your shoulders? Breathe up. Flip the front palm, reverse, reach up and back. And you could look up. Sometimes it can be nice on your neck to look down towards the back foot. Take a big breath. Squeeze the legs in. Take a breath in, lift back up, and then goddess posture, toes out, heels in, arms out. So this is your practice. Maybe where you've landed is where you're going to stay. Some of you, maybe you sit until your quads or thighs are parallel to the ground. Feel like, all right, this is the last goddess posture. And then eagle wrap the arms, left arm underneath the right. And you squeeze your arms, lift your fingertips up, take a breath. As you exhale, we're tilting to the left. So head to the left, arms to the left. And then you might follow your forearms, your hands. You might feel through the upper back. You might let Might even add a little back bend at the top. And then maybe one. Once you finish the last circle, we'll release the hands, come back through center, toes in, stretch the arms up, inhale. And as you exhale, interlace your fingers behind your back. So just rest your knuckles on your sacrum again. Just encourage space, tailbone down, now knuckles down, chest up. So get really tall first. Either stay there or explore your back bend for 3, for 2, or 1. Squeeze the legs in a little to lift up, and then forward fold all the way down. So again, this could be an opportunity to stay where you land or explore a different hand variation. You could always walk your hands through the legs, or maybe an inversion, anything else that feels helpful, useful for 3. If your practice was yoga medicine, what would it look like in this moment? And that'll look like different things for each of us. Take a big breath in. Slow breath out. From wherever you are, hands go down. Lift up halfway and bring your feet to hip width. I'm going to do better this time. Let's see what happens. So feet go to hip width, and then you're going to spin on your heels and point your toes to the back of the room. Keep spinning on your heels. Now your toes will face to the other side of your mat. And if your hamstrings feel quite tight, this could be a moment to go, where are my blocks? Or I'll try and bring them to you. If you're at home, grab whatever you need. Then bring your left foot a little closer to the right. So the feet could almost be touching for some of you, or at least close. Take a breath in, lengthen the spine. You'll either fold straight over your legs or turn just your upper body over to the right. So you catch the outer left hip, the side of the leg, side of the body. Yeah, perfect. And so you might even slide, to go 1 block, or that's helpful. Take another round of breath there. Slow breath out. All right, the unravel. Begin to lift up halfway, inhale, and then you're spinning all the way around, but back to the front of the mat. So you're deciding whether you want your hands on your blocks. That'll be more for the standing split variation if you wish, or fingertips to the ground to start. Halfway lift with your right leg, lift your chest up, and then begin to fold. It could stay as a standing split or a handstand kick up. You decide. Your practice, your time. I personally love the inverting. It's like medicine to my body. But for some of you, it might feel like that is not medicine to my body. Maybe 1, 2 more breaths. And then squeeze the legs, press the ground away. Press into your left hand more. Yeah, zip up through the belly. And then wherever you are, lower both feet to the ground. Halfway lift, inhale breath. Exhale, nice and neat. Exhale as you fold. Bring your feet a little wider again. Begin to bend your legs and round up. Stretch all the way up towards the sky. Can you turn your toes out? And then yogi squat with a different flavor. Can you take your arms underneath your legs? And then see if you can sit your hips down. If you're, and you want to kind of wedge your arms right underneath your legs. If anyone feels like this is hard to hold this position, you can also go sit at the wall and lean your hips into the wall. Then either stay still or do a little yogi squat dance, shift side to side, and then circle your wrists. So Katerina, if you want to, you could come to the wall, or unless you're happy to stay there. So it's trying to massage out your forearms. Not always places that we spend too much time releasing, but it's definitely helpful whether you're practicing yoga or using a computer or your phone or playing video games. Well, yeah, and like
so many things. If you go to the gym and lift weights, all these things. All right, now your fingers might be starting to lose some circulation. So release your hands and you're going to lower the hips straight down. Take your feet together. And now can you take the backs of your wrists, slide them into the hip creases, elbows onto the inner seam of the legs, and then start to lightly squeeze your legs in. Yeah, it's also another weird one. But then as you squeeze in, can you lightly press out with your arms? So you're kind of trying to find the stretch through the back of your shoulders, but also decompresses the wrists there. And if that's not for you, you could also come into butterfly posture and forward fold if you're at home and you need to skip that. Couple more breaths. This can be kind of one of those stretches that feels necessary, but like uncomfortable. Some of us really like the sensation though. Take one more big breath. Slow breath out. Can you gently release, slowly lift up, and just give your hands a bit of a shake out. And then take your feet wide and let your knees drop side to side and just kind of gently shift your hips. Notice how things are feeling now. Take another breath. And I know maybe a lot of you have done this before, but just in case you haven't, just so you can see, because it's harder to see when we're laying down, I'm going to set up in a figure four. We'll do a figure four stretch first, and then it will be revolved figure four. For most of you, I'm going to suggest your arm over your head, bend your elbow, and then this little army crawl over to the side. But some of you, your knee will collapse forward, and if it does, I'll guide you to do this instead. All right, so make your way onto your back and just keep a block handy. I'll talk you through all of it. So figure four, right ankle onto the left thigh. Interlace your fingers behind either your shin or your hamstring. And as you draw in with your hands, flex your right foot and press your right leg away. Roll the shoulders back. If you want to go a little further, you could come into reclined half pigeon. And if you're not sure what that is, just pop your head up so you can see. You could cradle your right leg and either interlace your fingers or hold your right leg. Left foot could lower down or left leg could lengthen. So just an option if anyone wants to go there. Take one more big breath. Slow breath out. If you've got the leg extended, just come back to the figure four shape for a moment. Release your hands, lower your left foot, and then take your left hand onto your right ankle, and then tip the figure four shape over to the left. I'm gonna let it tip all the way over to the left. So let's experiment here. Press into your right foot, reach your right arm over your head and bend your right elbow. And then just kind of do a little shimmy with your shoulders over to the left, but still keeping both of the shoulders down onto the ground. Either you'll stay there, or if it feels like your right knee is collapsing forward, then you could use a block and press your right leg away with the block. And so you might feel this stretch up the right outside of the leg, out of hip. Do you feel much? Okay, yeah. So yes. I love this one, so good. So see if you can take your hand onto your ankle. Take this hand onto it. So let's see if you can plant the foot downwards onto the ground. And then lift this knee this way. I'm gonna go step onto a block. And then you're trying to press this leg away. Do you feel that? Anywhere along there? Yeah. And then you're gonna press. Yeah. Take one more big breath in. Slow breath out. And then slowly lift the legs back through center. We'll switch straight to the other side. So take your left ankle to the right thigh. Figure four, grab onto your shin or your hamstring and roll the shoulders back. Press your lower back into the ground. And then just kind of feel this out. Can you find an intensity that feels like it would be medicine to your hips, not forcing them? And either stay there, or if you explore the reclined half pigeon, you could cradle your left leg and lower the right foot or extend your right leg long.
So it's kind of similar shape in the left leg, but it does extend the right leg. Sometimes your right foot doesn't want to touch the ground if the hips are tight, either in the outer hip or the hip flexor. 2 more breaths. Take 1 more big breath in. Slow breath out. If you're in the extended version, come back to figure 4, take a breath, and then release the hands, lower your right foot. Can you take your right hand onto your left ankle and then tip the figure 4 shape over to the right? So some of you, a block will be helpful here. You can use it, press it into your left leg. Otherwise, maybe like you did before, left arm over your head, left elbow can bend, and just kind of crawl your upper body a little to the right. So there's a curve in your left side body. And you might stay there, or you might use the block now and press your left leg away. And if you can't feel anything, give me a wave so we can find another variation for you. So you can try and step your foot onto, and then you might use your hand to press the leg away. See if you can send a breath to where you need it, into the side body, the outer hip, into the leg. Take a big breath, fill up. And a really slow breath out. 1 more of those. Slow breath out. And then gently release the grip if you're holding onto the ankle. Move the block, take your feet wide and let your knees again drop side to side. So as you move, as you gently shift the sensations that might have been there just a few moments ago, notice if you want to add anything else into your practice. Your body might be speaking to you in a certain way, and trust that and then explore that. So if you wish to add any final postures in, go for it. Otherwise, we'll head to Shavasana unless you'd prefer to be in seated meditation. So you might decide to slide the bolster underneath your legs and come back to where we began. Add any final shapes in, or if you'd prefer to find a seat. And if anyone wants a blanket that doesn't have one, because it might feel nice and cozy, give me a wave. Good choice. And then as soon as you land, as soon as you find the place that you're going to settle in, let's take 3 big, almost exaggerated breaths where you fill yourself up as much as you can. Yeah, add the warmth, add the layers, add the comfort. And then as you breathe out, like you're letting your body exhale into the mat. 2 more big breaths, really fill up. But feel the breath out, feel the exhale. Again, take a big breath. And a slow breath out. And for the next couple of minutes, allow this to be the rest, even though only a few minutes of pure rest can be like the medicine for the nervous system, for your body, to allow you to continue doing all the things that you do, so that our practice supports our life, it fills us up, but often so we can show up for so many people in our life. And just show up better as we step out of here and into our car, onto the road, into the shops. Bring maybe a more calm or grounded energy into whatever we do.
And start to take a deeper breath in, like you want to fill yourself right up. And a really long breath out. Maybe you want to move gently, slowly, minimally. Or maybe you want to reawaken your body through movement. You may want to take a big stretch. So explore your way of shifting unless you want to stay for another minute or so. And as you exhale, begin to curl inwards. Maybe roll to your side. And if you're at home and you want to stay longer for Shavasana, if you're in the room and are happy to stay for a few minutes, find. If I had it my way, I would keep going. We know that. So you're either finding your seat or staying as you are. But if you're sitting up, can you take a moment to really intentionally prop yourself up? Can you feel the space along the spine, broaden the collarbones? Start to draw your tailbone down towards the ground. And our practice is supposed to nourish us and fill us up. And so checking in and noticing whether you listened to your body, whether you honored it. Because this is where our practice is supposed to support us and to allow us to keep showing up in every way that we do. Let's draw the hands to heart center. And together, let's take a big breath in, fill up. Bow the head to the heart, breath up. Thank you all for sharing your practice and showing up. Namaste. Thank you very much. Take your time. If you're not ready to move, there will be people coming in, but they'll move around you. If you have questions, come have a chat. This is my last class before I leave. It was nice to see your faces, nice to be here. I'm back to Byron Bay, but every time I come, I come visit. So thank you. And thank you at home. It was nice to see you as well. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I know it's early, but this is my early Christmas. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Bye. My pleasure.